Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the Dobbs channel, and today we're gonna be doing something fun and challenging and something that I challenge you guys at home to try out as a challenge. And I know what you're thinking, where is the usual content? Where are the top 10s? Don't worry, next week I'm gonna be doing a top 10 that I've been sitting on for the past 4 years now, and I'm finally gonna do it. But yeah, I was just browsing on YouTube and I came across this speedrun called Ash Percent. And basically it's a Pokemon Yellow speedrun where you play as accurate as you can to Ash Ketchum in the anime. And I was wondering, how far can we stretch this challenge? How much can we do in Pokemon Yellow that Ash did in the anime? Ranging from doing the Metapod versus Metapod battle, to catching the 1% Pidgeotto, to even catching 29 Tauroses in the Safari Zone. Let me tell you, that was a challenge. That took forever, even on like 10 times speed up. So yeah, after mapping out everything in the Pokemon anime and seeing what we can do in the video games, we're gonna be playing Pokemon Yellow exactly like Ash Ketchum. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Without further ado, let's do this challenge. Alright, starting off this challenge, it's pretty straightforward. We name ourselves Ash, we name our rival Gary, and we choose our starter as Pikachu. We don't really choose it, we're forced into choosing Pikachu because Gary steals our Eevee. But you know, it's cool. I'll take the Pikachu because it is an Ash Ketchum challenge. But this is really the extent of what we could do in episode 1. Ash actually fails catching a Pidgey, and then he is swarmed by a horde of Spearows and protects his Pikachu, and Pikachu does like a thunderbolt, like a thunder. Horde battles are not in this game, so we can't really imitate that. We also can't imitate stealing Misty's bike and, you know, seeing the Ho-Oh for the first time. That would have been cool, hacking a Ho-Oh in the game, but we couldn't do that. So we just went on to Viridian City and did the Professor Oak's parcel challenge and went on our way to Viridian Forest. So here we are, already in episode 3, because in episode 2, Ash just goes to the Pokemon Center and also Team Rocket is introduced. So really nothing that we can imitate in the video game. We're in Viridian Forest and our first task is to capture a Caterpie. Now Ash actually fails catching the Caterpie in the anime because he's Ash, but we actually caught it on our first ball, so it wasn't as canonically correct, but we did our best. The next task was catching a Pidgeotto. Ash somehow actually finds a 1% Pidgeotto in his little area. And in Viridian Forest, Pidgeotto actually has a 1% encounter rate. So even on speed up, it took about like 5 to 6 minutes finding this Pidgeotto, and capturing him was okay. It wasn't that difficult, but it was still kind of a challenge. And then at the end of this episode, Team Rocket appears and reveals their intention to capture Ash Ketchum's Pikachu. But that was episode 3, and now we're going to episode 4. Now, as I said, I wanted to match anime as closely as possible. After evolving my Caterpie into a Metapod, I went and found a NPC with a Metapod themselves. And then I did the famous Metapod versus Metapod battle that Ash and the Samurai did in episode 4 of the anime. Now, to be clear, he didn't have a pincer, but he did have a Metapod. And I tried my best to imitate what happened in that battle. I just spammed Harden. And it wasn't exactly like the Metapod versus Metapod battle we saw in the anime. I tried to spam Harden as much as I could. It was pretty interesting. Then after I did that fun battle, I went ahead and evolved my Metapod into a Butterfree and leveled it up to 15 so that I could learn Sleep Powder, because that's what it learns in the anime. Now I want to give a full disclaimer. For the level ups in this challenge, I used rare candies because it just saved a lot of time. I didn't want to like grind on wild Pokemon and spend like hours doing that. So I used rare candies for these level ups. And then already we are on our way to episode 5 in Pewter City. All right, we are now in Pewter City and it's time to learn about immunities, because in this episode, Ash challenges Brock and learns that ground type Pokemon have immunity against electric type attacks. Ash's Pikachu accidentally triggers the sprinkler system and soaks Brock's Onix, then Thunderbolt automatically has an effectiveness on his Pokemon. That required us to level up our Pikachu all the way to level 26 so that we could learn Thunderbolt naturally. And after we learned Thunderbolt, I went ahead and gave Pikachu the move Water Gun. So just like Ash's Pikachu triggering the sprinkler system in the gym, I used Water Gun on Brock's Pokemon and basically bodied them. And Brock doesn't actually get defeated. He actually forfeits and just gives Ash the pity badge. I try to match that as closely as I can with the water gun attack. So we got our first badge of this challenge. Now to imitate episode 6, we just went through Mount Moon because episode 6 is all about Clefairies and Moonstone, so really nothing to imitate that much there. So moving on to episode 7, we are now arriving to Cerulean City to get our second badge. Now in the anime, Misty's sisters don't want to challenge Ash and just want to give him the badge for free because they just don't feel like battling. But Misty steps up and takes Ash's challenge because she doesn't want to give free handouts at her gym. But the thing is though, Ash's Pikachu doesn't want to partake in the battle, so Ash is forced to use Butterfree and his Pidgeotto. So just like in the anime, before even going on Nugget Bridge, we went and faced Misty and challenged her with our Butterfree and Pidgeotto. Now, to imitate the battle just perfectly, we had to lose our Butterfree to Misty's Staryu, and then win with our Pidgeotto against her Starmie. So in the game, we did just that, and we won. But in the anime, Ash, again, doesn't really win his second gym badge, because Team Rocket appears and interrupts their battle, and then once Ash and Misty takes care of them, and they just like blast off at the speed of light, Misty gives Ash the Cascade badge for free, as another pity badge for Ash. But we really can't imitate that in the video game, so we just got our badge the legitimate way by defeating Misty in a battle. And then now we are ready to get our Bulbasaur and Charmander. Now episode 8 and episode 9 are like filler episodes of the anime, but in episode 10, we can imitate what Ash does by receiving our Bulbasaur. And in Pokemon Yellow, in order to receive the Bulbasaur, our Pikachu has to be happy. But after running around and doing shenanigans for the past hour, our Pikachu is pretty happy, so we get the Bulbasaur. And then in the very next episode, episode 11, we get our Charmander as well. Now, as we all remember, Charmander had that very abusive trainer, I think his name was Damien. Ash saved him and took ownership over him, but in the video game, really couldn't imitate that, so after defeating the Team Rocket member on Nugget Bridge, we just talked to the NPC and got our Charmander for free. And thank God, because that episode is very emotional, so it was nice getting our Charmander emotion-free. So now we're at the point where our team is Pikachu, Butterfree, Pidgeotto, Bulbasaur, and now the Charmander, which is very Ash-like. This is the point in the playthrough where things get a little scrambled, because in episode 12, Ash actually receives a Squirtle from the Squirtle Squad from Officer Jenny. But in the video games, we can't actually do that until we do SS Anne and then defeat Lieutenant Surge and show our Thunder Badge to Officer Jenny. We're going to go a little out of order here. But in the very next episode, Ash does capture a Krabby. Although in Pokemon Yellow, Krabby only spawns on Route 10 and Route 25 through the Super Rod. So what I did was I spawned a Krabby on Route 6 and captured it to try to follow the anime as closely as possible. And because of the anime, since Ash obtained a Squirtle, he can't carry more than 6 Pokemon. So his Krabby is transferred to Professor Oak for his caretaking. In order to imitate this, I went ahead and went to the Pokemon PC and boxed Krabby and acted like we sent it to Professor Oak. As I remember, this episode was pretty funny. Ash's Krabby was a lot smaller than Gary's Krabby that he caught as well. Now in episode 14, this is when Ash challenges Lieutenant Surge and faces his Raichu with his Pikachu. But in Pokemon Yellow, we can't challenge Lieutenant Surge before we do SS Anne and get the HM cuts. So this is the area where it gets kind of scrambly, so we skip episode 14 and go to episode 15 and do SS Anne. So in SS Anne, Ash encounters this gentleman that has Eradicate. This Eradicate is super powerful and battles another trainer that has a Starmie. So of course, to imitate the anime as closely as possible, I found a gentleman on SS Anne and just like faced him, and then acted like I was watching him battle. And then after doing that, I faced a rival and then got my HM cut from the captain, and then went back to episode 14 and challenged Lieutenant Surge. Now in the anime, Ash only uses Pikachu for this battle, so I boxed all my Pokemon except for Bulbasaur because we're gonna need Bulbasaur to get through the cut tree, and then I went and faced Lieutenant Surge. But in the anime, Ash loses his first challenge to Lieutenant Surge, so I went ahead and just lost intentionally. Now if you watched the first season, this is the episode where Ash asks Pikachu if he wants to evolve with a Thunderstone. So of course, to match the anime as closely as possible, I hacked in a Thunderstone and tried to give it to my Pikachu, but it refused it and did like a little animation for it too, so it was just perfect. Now the second time around when Ash challenges Lieutenant Surge, his Pikachu knows Agility. In the video game, we leveled up our Pikachu until level 33 to learn Agility ourselves. And man, I'm not gonna lie, Lieutenant Surge's Raichu is pretty powerful. Its Mega Kicks can do massive damage, so I had to level up our Pikachu a little higher than level 33 in order to defeat Lieutenant Surge. Finally, after getting our Thunder Badge, we were then able to get our Squirtle, which should have happened on episode 12, but we couldn't do it until we did these other events in the game. We're trying to do our best here for the video game. Now after finally getting our Squirtle, our team is now a Pikachu, a Pidgeotto, a Butterfree, a Charmander, a Bulbasaur, and a Squirtle. And for the next 4 episodes, they're just fillers. We really can't do anything in the video games to imitate it. So we're now on episode 21, which is the famously known episode known as Bye Butterfree. So of course, to imitate the anime, we had to release our Butterfree. And that was sad, but don't worry, the Butterfree gets laid in this episode. It's not that bad. Now, in the Pokemon anime, Ash and his friends go to Vermilion City right after defeating Lieutenant Surge. But in Pokemon Yellow, you can't really do that. You have to go through Rock Tunnel, Lavender Town, to Celadon City, to get the fresh water in order to get access to Saffron City. So to get around that, I just went ahead and hacked the fresh water into the game to go straight to Saffron City that was just north of Vermilion City, just to make it more accurate to the anime. But the thing is though, you had to do the Team Rocket stuff before getting access to Sabrina's gym, because there's a Team Rocket member just standing in front of her gym so that you can't go challenge her if you wanted to. So to stay true to the anime, I had to go on a tangent and do all the Team Rocket stuff. So I went to the hideout, got the Silph Scope, went to the Lavender Tower to save its refugee, and then went to Silph Scope Company to defeat Giovanni. Then finally, I gained access to Sabrina's gym. So after finally being caught up with the anime, we go ahead and go challenge Sabrina and lose on purpose, because in this episode, Ash actually loses to Sabrina, and right before they turn into dolls, Sabrina's father teleports them out and saves them. Those dolls still give me like nightmares to this day. Like that was a scary episode as a kid at least. So after intentionally losing to Sabrina, we are now in episode 23 to go catch a Haunter. In the anime, Haunter is used to help defeat Sabrina because he makes her laugh and gives Ash another pity badge. So that's what we have to go do. So Pokemon Yellow, we go to Lavender Tower and just capture a Haunter, and then go out of Saffron City for episode 24. Now in episode 24, this Haunter is very, very trolly. He keeps disappearing on Ash during the battles. So in order to imitate this, we box every Pokemon except for Haunter and Pikachu, then go battle Sabrina again and lose on purpose for a second time. So for a third time, we go back and defeat Sabrina because in the Pokemon anime, Haunter appears and makes Sabrina laugh, and that earns Ash his Marsh badge. It's a pity badge. And of course, in Pokemon Yellow, we can't use our Haunter to make Sabrina laugh. We just defeat her the legitimate way and get our Marsh badge that way. We're trying our best to be close to the anime, but it's hard to be as bad as Ash in this playthrough. Now we're on episode 25, and at the point where Ash encounters a Mankey, and this Mankey evolves into a Primeape, and Ash somehow captures it. So in order to stay true to the anime, we spawned a Mankey and ran away from it, and then we spawned a Primeape, and I captured it. It was my last Pokeball. I got pretty lucky capturing it, and we got it. It was pretty accurate to the anime. Now, this is where I kind of messed up, because I thought the Marsh badge from Sabrina's gym makes Pokemon up to level 40 obey you, but it's actually level 70. So I made the Primeape level 41 thinking that it would disobey me. It obeyed me, but as we know in the anime, this Primeape doesn't obey Ash at first and has to earn his respect. But as I was doing this, I thought it was level 41, so then I just proceeded to Celadon City to face Erika in a gym battle. Now in episode 26, Charmander is shown knowing Skull Bash, so I had to TM 40 to teach the Charmander so that he would know Skull Bash for the battle that we faced against Erika. And in the anime, Ash challenges Erika with his Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Pikachu. But of course, he doesn't actually earn his gym badge yet again. Because during the battle, Team Rocket interrupts and then starts a fire. Then after Team Rocket blows at the speed of light, Erika gives Ash the Rainbow Badge as her gratitude for saving her Pokemon. So another pity badge for Ash. But in Pokemon Yellow, we really can't imitate this at all, so we just defeat Erika with our Pikachu at the end and just get our Rainbow Badge the legitimate way. So moving on to episode 29, because in episode 27 and 28, really nothing happens that we can do in the video games. It's just filler episodes. We are now going to do the tournament with our Primeape. This is probably one of my favorite episodes of the anime because it's just a classic. Ash enters this Grand Prix with his Primeape and wins it all, and it's just so epic. I love it a lot. So the best way to imitate this, I just went to the dojo in Saffron City and just bodied everybody with my Primeape. Then I released it because in the anime, Ash leaves his Primeape with a trainer to train it. So I just released it. It's the best thing I could do. And then in episode 30, Ash catches a mug, but he sends the mug to Professor Oak because it smells very bad. It's very stinchy. So in Pokemon Yellow, I just spawned a mug and then I placed it in my PC as if I'm sending it to Professor Oak so that he can take care of it and smell his stinchy smell. Now in episode 31, Ash goes to Future City. So in Pokemon Yellow, I just went on Bike Path and went to Future City myself. And then in episode 32, Ash challenges Koga's sister to a gym battle. But then Koga interrupts and challenges Ash himself. And so Ash and Koga do a gym battle. For like the third time, Team Rocket interrupts them. Team Rocket is blown away, and Ash actually defeats Koga legitimately. So what I did, I tried to imitate the battle as close as possible. So I led with Pidgeotto, and I swapped the Charmander, and then I won. I got my soul badge that easy cheesy. But the next thing we do is not as easy cheesy, and it took It took hours, okay? In episode 33, Ash wins the race with the Ponyta, and then evolves into Rapidash. Still one of my favorite anime episodes to this day. And then episode 34, he levels up his Squirtle and gets Skull Bash and meets the Kangaskhan kid. In episode 35, he then goes to the Safari Zone and captures 29 Tauroses. And no, it's not 30, it's 29, because the 30th one was captured by Brock. Yeah, I had to go capture 29 Tauroses in the Safari Zone. And let me tell you, this was a grind, man. This was a grind. I was on 10 times speed in the emulator, and it still took me like 2 hours to do. If you threw bait at the Tauros, you would then not be able to capture it, because it would just avoid all your Pokeballs. If you threw rocks at it, they would always run away. Their catch rate in the Safari Zone is 6.5%. Yeah, I was there for a very long time trying to catch 29 Tauroses at 10 times speed. God dang, that just took forever. But I did it. I caught 29 Tauroses, and I showed them off in my PC to prove it to y'all that I caught 29. And yeah, that was a nightmare. And episode 38 was the band episode with Porygon. In episode 39, Ash attempts to release his Pikachu. Basically, in the episode, Pikachu finds a group of other Pikachus, and Ash decides that, you know, he should stay with his kind. So, of course, in Pokemon Yellow, I try to release Pikachu, and he's not that happy about that. He refuses it. I did it, and I was surprised that he didn't run away, and so that's pretty cool. And of course, obviously, Ash's Pikachu decided to stay with Ash and not go with his own kind in the episode, so we did that pretty well. Now, in episodes 40 through 42, Ash tries to catch another trainer's Pokemon without knowing that they were owned by a trainer. And these two Pokemon were Snorlax and Jinx. And since Lorelei from the Elite Four is the only Pokemon trainer to own a Jinx in the game, I actually had to try to capture their Jinx at the Elite Four, so that's gonna be later on. But as for the Snorlax, there's no other trainer that owns the Snorlax in the game, so I can't do that, so I can't imitate that epic fail by Ash. And then in episodes 43 through 46, Ash's Charmander evolves into a Charmeleon and then a Charizard. And it starts disobeying Ash. I'm not sure why, but my Charizard never started disobeying me, even after I evolved to like level 81, like 91. I thought it would, but it didn't. So I guess my Charizard just likes me more than Ash. I don't know why. I tried, but it likes me a lot. And then there's gonna be a big time skip, but in episode 47 through 57, it's basically just all filler episode or stuff we can't do in the video game. The only crucial thing that happens is Bulbasaur stops from evolving into an Ivysaur. I had a moment where I stopped Bulbasaur evolving from Ivysaur to imitate that part, and I also gave it Solar Beam. Yeah, that's the closest I could do with the Bulbasaur lore in the anime, so yeah. And then from here on out, it's just rapid fire for what we can do in Pokemon Yellow, because in episodes 60 through 63, Ash challenges Giovanni, but Giovanni's not there to challenge Ash. It's actually Team Rocket who challenges Ash. But we can't really do that in Pokemon Yellow, so I just defeat Giovanni with my Pokemon and act like they were Jesse and James and defeated them with their pathetic Pokemon and got an Earth Badge. And then the biggest time skip of this entire Let's Play, from episode 64 through 80, there really was nothing I could do to imitate the anime in the Pokemon game, so I just went to the Elite Four and challenged them and defeated them with Ash's team that he uses in the tournament where he gets top 16. And that team was Kingler, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Pikachu, Muk, and Charizard. And their moves were closely related to their moves from the anime, so it was as close as I could do to the anime. And of course, I tried capturing Lorelei's Jinx in the first battle, because I wanted to make up for that holiday special where Ash does that epic fail trying to capture a trainer's Jinx. So yeah, that was funny. And yeah, after defeating Blue, I guess I just defeated Pokemon Yellow the closest way you could do it to Ash did in the anime. Man, that was a challenge. That was crazy. Especially the Tauros, man. That was the worst part of this entire run. And if y'all want to do a speed run of this challenge without hacks and cheats, you know, good luck. Good luck, because that's going to be like a 20+ hour speed run. But I definitely challenge y'all to those who are crazy enough to try it out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified for future uploads. Check me out on Patreon. I do Patreon exclusive videos over there as well. Just did a reaction to the first anime episode, so that was a lot of fun. Next week, we're going to do a top 10 that I've been sitting on for the past 4 years now, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace!